Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christy. I am a soon-to-be traditionally published author, writing romantic comedies and contemporary romance under the pen name Carmen Lee. And today I thought about sitting down and filming a video talking about what I will be working on for the rest of 2023. For any of you who follow me on social media, on Twitter or Instagram, or if you're signed up for my newsletter, some of this is probably not surprising to you because I know I've talked about it. I've made some announcements here and there about what's coming next. But for those of you who are new to my channel and new to me as an author, I figured this would be a really interesting way to kind of get to know me, what I write, what's coming up for me, as well as sort of get a little bit of a look into my writing process. So what am I working on for the rest of 2023? Like I said, if you follow me on social media, you know that I announced that I have a traditional publishing deal. It's for a contemporary sapphic romance between two teachers and bowling coaches who are tasked with coaching their high school bowling team to victory within 6 months. And it is going to be published with Afterglow Books, which is an imprint of Harlequin. I'm super excited about it. And right now where we are in the process is I am working on copy edits. And so I got these copy edits, I think about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. And so I've been slowly going through them. Most of the copy edit comments are towards the end of the book. But for me, since I haven't really looked at this book in about a month or so, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, I actually have been reading back through the entire book. Just because some of the comments kind of required me to sprinkle some things in throughout the book, so it's not like such a surprise at the end. And so, yeah, in order to do that, I've had to kind of go back and read the whole book, which has been a lot of fun. I'm typically the type of author that once I write my book and once it's good to go, I don't look at it again. I don't reread my words unless I need to in order for consistency and continuity's sake. But yeah, it's, I guess, kind of like actors who, once they film their movie and maybe they'll watch it on the debut or opening night or something like that, but they'll never watch it again. So I'm fairly similar when it comes to writing my books. And that's any book that I've written, whether it's ghostwritten or for myself. I don't usually go back and read my words for any reason once it's published for the most part. But yeah, so that's been a new experience. It's a lot of fun though. I've fallen back in love with these words and these characters and this town and this story. So that's good. Sorry if you see the camera shaking, my cats have decided this is the perfect moment to do parkour. But yeah, so I'm working on copy edits right now. I have seen a concept for the cover, which is super exciting. Nothing yet. If you want to eventually get a sneak peek, I'm trying to figure out how the cover reveal is going to go. If it's going to be something that I can do for my newsletter folks first before it comes out. But yeah, that's a new experience as well, being trad pub. And I will say that I had heard horror stories about authors who, their publishers didn't give them any, I guess, leeway in the cover or ability to really give them feedback and say that what they want in the cover. And I feel like I've gotten pretty lucky that from the very beginning, my editor especially has been great. They came to me and they were like, here's what I want to present to the marketing team and everything. What do you think? Do you have anything to add? And so I feel like I've been very involved in the cover making process. And so, yeah, so far I've had a great experience with working on the cover with the illustrator and with Afterglow Books. So I'm super excited for what I've seen so far, and I'm hoping in the next week or two that there will be a final cover for me to look at and then start building out how we're going to announce that. So yes, I'm finishing up copy edits. I will need to finish those in the next few days and send them back off to my editor. And then after that, I believe is past pages. And yeah, it's been really fun watching this manuscript evolve from, the Word doc that I had at the beginning to, even what it looks like now, because they've started doing formatting, so I can kind of get an idea of like what this book will look like. I'm looking at my Trello board now because that's kind of how I keep all of my things organized for myself. I do have a spreadsheet that my agent and I both have access to, so she can kind of get an idea of some of the thoughts that are rolling around in my head as far as books, whether they're series or standalones or what. But then I usually put things on my Trello board because that's how I keep everything organized for myself. So outside of working on my copy edits, I do have, I think probably my final self-pub book that's coming out for the next couple of years, coming out in November. And that book is with my editor. It's another contemporary romance that I started before I got my contract with Harlequin. I've already heard some feedback from her, which is great. And then I probably will get the feedback from her in the next week or two. And then I'll be working on edits for that one. So beyond those two, I am also, also working on something else. You'll find this out about me pretty quickly, that I always have like 2 or 3 projects that I'm working on at a time. I do have moments where I take time off, like a week, 2 weeks at a time, but I don't know. I like to have things to do. And so I'm usually working on at least 2 projects at a time, whether it's just like straight brainstorming and outlining, making a synopsis, or actually drafting or working on edits. I do tend to stay pretty busy with writing projects. The other writing project, I guess number 3, that I am working on, that I'm actively drafting, and that I have talked about if you follow me on TikTok, or if you've seen any of my YouTube shorts, I'm writing on it, is Project KW, which is another romantic comedy, but it's really romanticy. I call it, food, feels, and magic with this one. And so this will be the first submission project manuscript that my agent and I go out with in 2024. So with this process, I think I started with this one earlier this year. I think probably right at the turn of the new year. I had an idea in my head of what I wanted to write. And I think I was brainstorming for about 3 to 4 months, and then I hit a wall. And my really good friends, I sat down and I was just like, hey guys, I have hit a wall with this idea. You know which idea it was because, we talked about it, and I just need to get it out and hear someone else's thoughts and points of view. And it was great. Like I have a great group of author and writer friends, and we just sat on Zoom one night and I talked everything out. I showed them everything that I had so far, and it came to one moment where my friend was like, well, I see your problem. And I was like, oh, perfect. What's my problem? And they were like, you're trying to write 2 different books in one. That's your problem. And I thought, holy crap. You're right. I am trying to write 2 different books in one. Not only 2 different books, but 2 different age levels in one. So it was, once they said that, it was like the wall was magically cleared and I knew exactly what the book was. So the one book turned into 2 books. It turned into the adult book that I'm talking about now, about going out on submission with my agent, Project KW, and then it turned into the YA book that I hope will eventually be my YA debut because, let's add another genre in there, that right now I'm calling Lineage. It has a very different feel. It's more Southern Gothic, it's YA, as I said, it is urban fantasy and a little bit of sci-fi. So that one I am still not actively researching on, but as I do research for Project KW, it is feeding into the research for lineage. And so that one I am slowly but surely doing some research on, kind of redoing some character profiles and figuring out really like what is the background and what's the major issue, what's the major play with this one. And so I don't think I'll actively be working on that book until the new year, just because I do already have quite a few things on my plate. But I am super excited to kind of start on that. And then once I have my research and my synopsis kind of figured out, I'll send that to my agent and see what she says. She also does represent YA, which was definitely something that we discussed during our phone call when she made an offer, and I wanted to see how we might fit together and work together, and if she was the one I should choose. And she was all aboard, as well as being all aboard with me continuing to self-publish, which, like I said, I have one coming out this November, and then I don't think I'll be self-publishing again until 2025. I'm so super busy right now. Beyond those, I do have another book that you're gonna get, like I said, you're gonna see the theme of like me having 50 million things I'm working on. I do have another book that I'm slowly but surely creating a synopsis for. It's hopefully gonna be another 3-book series. I'm still trying to figure out if it's something that I want to use for my options clause with Harlequin, or if it will be something that I send to my agent and we again try to sub out wide. I haven't 100% decided how I want to handle my option clause with Harlequin. I'm excited to potentially present something else for my options clause, but I just haven't 100% decided on if it's going to be something completely new in a completely new universe, or if I'm going to continue with the universe that we have already started. I did sort of leave myself a back door for that idea, that where it could potentially fit into the universe that I already have with Harlequin, but it's just as easy to create something completely new. So that is something that my agent and I will have to sit down and talk about. But it is like 4th or 5th in line for things for me to work on. And the final thing that I will be working on, I say, but I'm not actually working on it because it's done. I have a short story that is going to come out in December with the Best Women's Erotica Volume 9. When I saw the call for this one, I was like, oh yes, I have to try at least and see what happens. And I got in. And so this was, I think, last year when all of this went down. So that short story has been done for a while. I think it was finished like earlier in this year, like all copy edits and everything were done before summer. With that anthology, I did my story, I did my edits, and now I just kind of sit back and wait for it to come out. I am super excited about it because I've read, I think, all of the other ones except for maybe 1 and 2. And so, yeah, getting in this was a lot of fun, especially because some of my author friends have also had their short stories and these anthologies over the years. That is what I have on my schedule for the rest of 2023 as far as releases and projects that I'm working on. I will probably do another video, I don't know, either at the end of this year or the beginning of 2024, just to talk about everything that I did in 2023, because I'm starting this a little bit late. I've done quite a bit for 2023, and I mean 2022 was, the end of 2022 was just a whirlwind of things happening. And so 2024 is going to be just as busy, if not more busy. I'm hoping to do a couple of reader events and author conventions in 2024. One of them that I'm absolutely doing, that I've already signed up for, is Coastal Magic Convention. It's going to be in February of 2024 in Daytona, Florida. So if you know about that one, or if you're in Florida and you like books, I'll be at that event, which is super exciting. It will be my first in-person author event ever. I've done a few things on virtual over the years, but this is my first in person, so that'll be super exciting. And I have, I don't even know, I have a whole list of 2024 book plans, but I also have to remember, and this is even for 2023, that the book 2 that I have with Harlequin is in the dev edit stage right now, and so I could get those edits back at any time, really. And if I do, I have to essentially put things to the side and start working on them and get them done. So that's always in the back of my mind, that for book 2, my dev edits could come in any day now and I would need to work on them. Those are just floating in the air somewhere, and it's like, will they come down to earth or not? So yeah, 2023 is still going to be a very busy year for the next, 2 months that we have left. And I'm excited, but I'm also obviously a little nervous and just making sure that I can juggle all these deadlines and not drop anything, because we don't want to drop our deadlines. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them in my next video. Like I said, I do have some writing vlog videos that I'm still editing so I can get put up. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.